let's take a look at proportional relationships in tables. So we're going to be able to answer the question, what is a table and how do we determine if it is proportional? So a table is a graphic organizer to help display data. Okay. Proportional. We say that a table is proportional if all of its values have the same unit rate. Okay. So let's look at how we write. Remember, before I get started, remember a unit rate is a ratio that has a 1 on the bottom. So for example, if I'm driving and I go miles per hour, because it's measured in miles per hour, and I'm going down a street, and it takes me 1 hour to go 25 miles. That is a unit rate. Okay. So let's look at how we write ratios from a table. So when gathering ratios from a table, we write the ratio in the form of y over x. Remember, ratios look like fractions. We just have to make sure that our y's are on top and our x's are on bottom. So we have two tables here. Let's name this one table 1, and let's name this one table 2. So table 1 is going to be yellow. Table 2 is going to be blue. Okay, so looking at this, whatever's in the section of x belongs to x, and whatever's in the section of y belongs to y. Same thing here. So x, 8, 12, and 16 are equal to x, and 12, 18, and 24 are equal to y. Okay, so we're going to use this to write our ratios. So let's look at table number 1, and let's start making our ratios, sorry. So our first x is 2, and our first y is 6. We color code them. So our first x is 2, and our first y is 6. So let's write this in the form of our ratio, which is y over x. So y is in pink, and x is in green. So for this one, it has to look like 6 over 2. So let's look at the other ones. Our second pair are 4 and 12, but our 12 is our y. So our 12 goes on top, and our 4 goes on the bottom. Let's look at the last one. It's 60, is y equals 60, and x equals 20. So 60 goes on top, and 20 goes on the bottom. And remember, we got this from the first table, the yellow one. So those are our ratios for that table. Let's look at table number 2. So we have our first set of x and y are 8. So let's do table number 2 is blue. First x is 8, and our first y is 12. And again, our y's are going to be pink, and our x is going to be green. So matching our ratio form, it is going to be 12 over 8. That's for our first pair. Let's look at our second pair. Our x is 12, so that goes on the bottom. And our y is 18, so that goes on top. Now let's look at our last one, which is 16 is x, and 24 is y. And those are our ratios for that one. Okay. So let's look at example number 1. Let's follow the process. So the first thing to do from the process is write the ratio shown in the table. So remember, our ratio has to look like y over x. Make our x green So all of our x's can be green. And my y pinkish purple. So all my y's are going to be purple. I have to go in that order. So our first pair is 2 and 8. My 8 is my y, so that goes on top. And my 2 is my x, so that goes on the bottom. Okay, let's make our second ratio. Same thing. Got 26. X equals 6, so 6 goes on the bottom. And y equals 24. Okay. Next one is x equals 7, so 7 goes on the bottom. And 28 is our y, so it goes on top. And then our last one is going to be 10 on the bottom, because that's our x, and 40 on top. That's our y. Let me give some more space. 24 over 6, 28 over 7. And I'll write my 40 over 10, sorry. Okay. Then we find the unit rate of each ratio. Okay, so remember unit rates have to be something over 1. So I'm going to do that for all of them. Okay. Now I just have to find how I go from a 2 to a 1 for this first one. How do I go from a 2 to a 1? I divide it by 2. But what I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. So I also divide the top by 2. So we know that 2 divided by 2 is 1. And 8 divided by 2 is 4. Okay. So let's move on to the next one. Same thing. What divided by 6 gives me 1. That is 6. What I do to the bottom, I do to the top. That's also 6. So 24 divided by 6 is 4. Okay. And then 7 divided by 7 gives me 1. What I do to the bottom, I do to the top. It's 28 divided by 7. That is 4. And our last one is 10 divided by 10 gives me 1. Divide the top by 10, so that's 40 divided by 10. That is also 4. Okay, let's look at our last step. Are all unit rates the same? Yes or no? So let's take a look. Are they all equal to? Are they all the same number? So this first one is 4 over 1. Okay, so let's see if they all match that. So second one is 4 over 1. That one is good. Third one is 4 over 1. So that one also matches. And our last one is also 4 over 1. So that matches. They are all the same. So yes, that means that this table is proportional. So for our claim, we're going to write the table is proportional. Okay. And that is it for that first example. Now let's go with the second one. We got decimals now. Well, it's going to be the same process. So first, we're going to create our ratios. So first one is 5.5 over 1. Because remember, our y's go on top. And our x's go on the bottom. There you go. Okay. So let's keep going. Next pair is 16.5 over 3. Makes that ratio. Third one is 26.26 over 5. Fourth one, is 38 over 5 over 7. 38.5 over 7. Sorry. And then our last one is 49.5 over 9. Okay. Let's create our unit rates. Again, it has to be something over 1. 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 Okay? Let's look at how we do that. So 1 divided by 1 is 1. So do that to the top. And that is 5.5. 3 divided by 3 is 1. Do that to the top. And this is where you might need your calculator. So 16.5 divided by 3. That is 5.5. Okay. Let me rewrite this. 26. Okay. 5 divided by 5 is 1. So do that to the top. 26.26 divided by 5. That gave me 5.252. Okay. Next one, 7 divided by 7 is 1. So do that to the top. And 38.5 divided by 7 is 5.5. And last one, 9 divided by 9 is 1. Do that to the top. 49.5 divided by 9 is 5.5. Okay. And the last thing we need to do is see if they are all the same. We're going to say they all have to match 5.5 over 1. First one is a yes. Our second one is a no. Our third one is a match. And our last one is also a match. However, because this one right here is not a match, that makes them not all match. They're not all the same, which makes it not proportional. So the claim for this one will be the table is not proportional. Okay. So let's go with example number 3. Okay. Let's start doing the first thing, which is write the ratios shown in the table. So let's start writing our ratios. Our first one, and again, it's y over x. So our first ratio is going to be 6 over 5 over 3. Our second one is going to be 14 over 5 over 7. Our last one is 2 over 10 over 10. Okay, so these are our ratios. Okay, second step is find the unit rate of each ratio. But first, we might want to turn our fractions into decimals. To do that, we just divide, right? So let's keep our 3 on the bottom. Let's go to our calculator. We're going to do 6 divided by 5. That is 1.2. So this is our new ratio for this one. Let's do that for all of them. So 7 stays. 14 divided by 5. That is 2.8. And our last one, our 10 stays. We need to change our fraction into a decimal. That is a 0.2. Okay. Now, let's change it into a unit rate. It has to be something over 1. All of them do. Okay. To get from a 3 to a 1, I have to divide it by 3. What I do to the bottom, I do to the top. And again, use our calculator. So 1.2 divided by 3 is 0.4. Okay. To get from I have to divide 7 by 7 to get 1. Do that to the top. 2.8 divided by 7. That is also 0.4. And then our last one, divide the bottom by 10. So we have to divide the top by 10. So 0.2 divided by 10 is 0.02. Okay, so let's look at our final unit rates. These first two match, but this last one doesn't. So when we're answering, are all unit rates the same? We're going to say no, which means the table is not proportional. And that is it for our notes.